Live from JJ's Live in Fayetteville, Arkansas, we have mixed martial arts action here as the Arkansas State Athletic Commission brings the Rumble at JJ's for the Northwest Fighting Alliance. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mike Stewart alongside Carson Smallwood, and we have Carter Randolph doing fighting interviews here all evening.
Yeah, this is going to be a very good card tonight. I'm excited to see not only the kickboxing and the MMA, but the title fight, and we've got two ladies going to step in here and go to war as well.
Yeah, and our first fight tonight is going to be one of 4 kickboxing bouts. It's going to be 3 rounds, 2 minutes, all amateur fights on the card, a 12-fight card.
And I'll tell you something that's really exciting about tonight. We're going to have some fighters. Some of them were 3-time state champion wrestlers. Some were national qualifying champions at the JUCO level. And we've got some Muay Thai specialists all over this card. We're going to see a lot of very intense, high cardio type fighters.
Very intense, high cardio fighters, and then we do have 4 kickboxing bouts on this card and 8 MMA fights here taking place tonight. Who you hear in the ring is the ring announcer Gregory Taylor. He's going to kick it off here to get this card started.
Haley, Sandra, and Paige.
All right, and there we go. We've got the ring girls in the octagon, and I got to tell you, a lot of guys here are going to be drinking, not to watch the fights, but to watch those girls walk around with those big numbers.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be seeing the big numbers, and the guys are going to be probably throwing some unwanted advances their way, but you know that's kind of what you sign up for, unfortunately.
Well, I got to tell you, this venue has been amazing so far. Everybody here has been so amazing to work with. I am so excited for this card tonight, not only because we're going to have some great fights, but because I've yet to see one person not smiling when they walk into this building.
Oh, yeah, this is an excellent venue, you know, right in University of Arkansas's backyard. Again, this looks like the 15th card for this particular promotion in the Northwest Fighting Alliance.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for Eli.
And here we go.
All right, so we got our first fight of the evening, and
say something nice to the ladies.
Y'all look great.
Y'all look great. 3 simple but very wise words by the young man.
During the women's fight. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we want to recognize our sponsors: Trident Fight Gear, Santos Chiropractic, The Vault, Fine Cigars, and they've already made friends with me tonight. Thank you to The Vault. And Badlands USA, and they're going to be up here later. They got some t-shirts and stuff they're going to be throwing out, so everybody make sure you hang around for that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 12 big fights on the card tonight. We have ladies on the card tonight. And, of course, we have our main event title fight later on this evening. So call your buddies, call your friends, tell them they still got plenty of time to get down here to JJ's Live and enjoy tonight's action. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'm going to ask you to please rise if possible. Gentlemen, please remove your hat as we have the singing of our national anthem.
entitled to a treat here with the national anthem performance.
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched.
And here we go, kicking off tonight's card, the Rumble at JJ's Live.
This is your first matchup of the evening. This is 3 2-minute rounds, kickboxing style, in the lightweight division. And this match is sponsored by Trident Fight Gear. Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the cage out of the blue corner, Colby, Cowan.
The debut for Colby Cowan for Harrison MMA, just 22 years old, being trained by Zach Cunningham.
Yeah, let me tell you something about Zach Cunningham. This is a very well-known guy in this area, especially in this community. A lot of people look up to Zach Cunningham. They respect him. One thing is very certain with Zach Cunningham's trained fighters. These guys are going to be very, very aggressive and at the same time, very, very technical.
First of 12 fights, amateur fights on the card tonight for the Northwest Fighting Alliance. 3 rounds, 2 minutes in this kickboxing matchup. As you see Colby Cowan, he is getting amped up as he steps into the cage for the first time.
You know, it's going to be interesting with this matchup because you've got one guy who's in the ring now, octagon rather, apologize on my boxing enthusiast. He is 22 years old and his opponent is 31 years old.
9-year age difference. Myles Guidry representing Diamond Street, and then he's coming out now. So I think this is the biggest age difference on the card here at the first fight.
Very well could have been. We do have 3, I believe, teenagers on this card tonight, all of them making their debuts, including one who is 18 years old, just graduated high school. But this matchup tonight is going to be very interesting because here's the thing with kickboxing. You're going to get a lot of kicks, almost to the point where you're going to think some of them are unnecessary. A lot of haymakers and uppercuts, but when these guys get into the clinch, somebody's getting tossed over their back.
Absolutely, Garson. That's absolutely correct. And so just want to introduce our officials tonight. They're going to call all 12 bouts. The referee, Rocky DeMeyer, and the judges, Richard Schwalve, Justin McQuillan, and Christina Barnett. So you will hear those names a lot tonight, especially the judges if some of these fights go to the scorecards.
All right, as you can see, we've got our camera guy. We want to give a shout out to Jackson, who is currently in the octagon. You're going to get some really good close-ups and shots of him thanks to his camera skills. But one thing that I want everyone to pay attention to tonight is all of these fights are amateurs. Not one of them are at the pro level. However, there are a handful who are, they're just so close to that, just getting over the cusp. Tonight's going to be a make it or break it type of scenario for so many of these fighters.
Especially as we get later into the card later on in the evening with title fights and the like going on, everybody trying to get their name out there. And amateur or not, it's a big opportunity when you have this crowd here in Fayetteville. As you see the fighters taking final instruction from their coaches at cage side.
Looks like one of the fighters may have forgot his mouthpiece, but now he's in there with it. Once again, amateur level, ladies and gentlemen.
Going to kick it back to Gregory Taylor to get fighter introductions.
And this fight is sponsored by Trident Fight Gear. Fayetteville, Arkansas, if you are ready, make me some noise and let's introduce your fighters. Fighting out of the blue corner, he is a freestyle fighter. Making his debut, he weighs in tonight at 155 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, he represents Harrison MMA. Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of Everton, Arkansas, this is Colby Cowan. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he's also a freestyle fighter. Weighing in tonight at 155 pounds, making his debut, he represents Diamond State MMA. Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, make the noise for Myles Guidry.
So Diamond State
calling
MMA.
the action, Rocky DeMeyer.
Diamond State MMA versus Harrison MMA, and 2 guys making their debut here in kickboxing at 155 pounds.
Not only is this a debut for both these fighters, this promotion, it's also a debut for these fighters. This is historical because this is our very first fight ever broadcasted for the Southern Sports Network.
Want to thank CEO Chris Dodson for putting this together, and here we go, we're underway as we already see action flying from both fighters.
You can see right away, both of them are on the attack. One thing I want you to notice, though, when you see these head kicks, very, very quickly when that foot lands, you're going to see an uppercut usually come with it.
Cowan with the high kick, but then there's countered by Guidry right there, and it looks like a very good back and forth here in round number 1.
Colby Cowan's really got to get some head movement on those jabs. He's just hanging out right there on the straight line. It's going to be very dangerous because Myles has got a little bit of the reach advantage.
Yeah, and the reach advantage is what can make or break a very close fight in these circumstances, especially for two guys making their amateur debut. So right in the center of the cage there. Excellent exchange by both fighters, and kind of a body kick there in the midsection by Guidry.
You know, Myles has definitely got that reach advantage right now, especially with the kicks, and those jabs are very long. If I was Colby, I think I would look something more towards being aggressive and trying to get into that clinch.
Colby with those kicks, but he's kind of not really in range. You can kind of tell the reach advantage there. He's got to get in a little bit closer.
No, those body kicks and those jabs and straights are really doing a good job for Myles. He's keeping that distance, and he's keeping them right where he wants them.
Absolutely, and the range is so critical in something like this. Both guys just kind of stand there in the middle of the cage right there. And again, Cowan trying to get his kicks off and in there landing, but you kind of wonder if he'd be able to get in a little bit closer for a better target.
And, you know, and with these kickboxing matches, they're 3 rounds at 2 minutes each round. So with 2 minutes, you don't have a whole lot of time to do some setups and get something going to where they're going to try to take the bait. You have to really stay aggressive because at any given time, looks like we've got maybe a low blow. Yeah,
we got a low blow, and that's very unfortunate as we were closing in on 10 seconds left in the opening round. So, you know, you really got to be careful because the round almost over. Looked like we were going to have a clean first round, and then something like that happens.
Listen, let me tell you something. That hurts. That does not feel good. Luckily for these guys, the adrenaline is rushing, so that's going to help them a little bit. They're not going to have to wait the full 5 minutes, and then we're going to get right back at it.
But the quote of late John Madden, he'll fill that one in the morning as we wrap up round number 1 here of our first 3 rounds in this kickboxing bout at 155.
Yeah, Colby's really loving those head kicks. He's trying to get one to land on that face, but Myles is standing in the pocket waiting, and he's getting them with those good counter hooks.
A good old slobber knocker that was landed there by Guidry.
There's that knee in the clinch. Now we're seeing that aggressive style.
And the Muay Thai knees going, and Guidry getting everything he wants. What a great counter shot.
There it is.
And another one. Big shot there by Cowan.
And that just shows you how fast these fights could turn around.
And in the last 30 seconds, 2 vicious right hands by Cowan there to really open it up there in the opening round.
You know, Myles was doing so good in that first round, keeping the distance, keeping him right in front. He's got that hand guiding him and then letting a jab and a straight fly off. Colby there towards the end of the fight with a good hook and following up and staying the aggressive to end the fight.
And let's show you on the SSN replay here, just able to throw right and then the left and able to keep it competitive here, and what a great opening round.
Yeah, we've seen that momentum go back and forth in that fight a little bit, and I think this is going to be a very important round out of all the 3 rounds these guys have scheduled, because now you've got Myles, who was kind of controlling with the distance in that fight, Colby getting those 2 big shots and getting them up against the cage towards the end of the round. We're going to see if Colby comes out swinging for the fences.
It did look like Myles for most of the fight was able to most of the first round rather was able to maintain the distance and really keep away from a heavy shot. But then Cowan was able to step in the last 30 to 45 seconds and get those 2 heavy-handed fists to land very well.
All right, 5 hands, here we go. Give it up, make the noise. This is round number 2.
Here we go, round 2.
Second round of 3 here at our opening bout of the evening, and then you got Cowan here trying to close the distance.
Yeah, Colby's getting some head movement now when he's throwing his shots.
Referee just wanting to break it up, give them a little bit of leeway as they're coming out of that exchange, and big shots there by Guidry.
Now he's got the clinch onto the back. Now they're going to stand up.
Yeah, this is kickboxing. This is our first MMA bout will be coming up next, but this is a kickboxing bout.
So for those of you who are maybe listening to this and are visually impaired, that loud smack that you just heard was a kick straight to the stomach. And you're going to hear some shots throughout the night where you might hear like a faint slapping noise. Those are the shots from the octagon, because we're, 4 or 5 rows away from the octagon at the moment?
We're about 20, 25 feet away from the cage here, broadcasting it.
Colby doing a good job of slipping those straights. But Myles is landing that hook.
Myles is just able to come through and make the most of his opportunity as he's backing him up on the cage here. and Muay Thai shots with the knee.
Oh, looks like now we've got a low blow as well. This time, Myles taking the shot.
So second low blow of the bout here. We have one near the end of round one, and then now we have one here, and it looks like we'll have a little bit of a break to try to get them rested up before we tune it back up here.
Yeah, this one probably going to take a little bit longer to cover. They were in the clinch. Myles took a knee to the groin. That's a little bit different than, maybe a shot slipping when you're going for the body and you slip and hit him there. Those knees are so vicious. We're going to see how long he takes.
Yeah, so about 52 seconds here remaining in the second round. So 3 rounds, 2 minutes of kickboxing here. Our opening bout of the Rumble at JJ's here in the Northwest Fighting Alliance. They step to the center of the cage here. A kick to the midsection, countered.
Well, Myles is looking a little gassed.
And we have shots coming in. Ooh, it's some big
Just
shots
kidding.
here.
There he goes. He's turning it
exploded.
on. Oh, Colby with the big shot in the right hand.
But Guidry exploded and tried to go for a 4-piece there and came up empty on the latter half of it.
Colby's doing a good job of slipping those jabs and straights now. Looked like that was an adjustment after the first round. You can see he leans to his right. He's going to set something up where he's thinking you're possibly going to go to the body. Be watching third round head kicks from Colby.
Myles being aggressive with the knee. Heavy shot there. And he has a left go, and he hits him. And they're back up against the cage now. And the aggression continues as we begin to close out round 2. 10 seconds left as we hear the claps cage side.
Colby's looking for that knockout shot. Myles is just keeping him at bay, keeping that distance. He's just got to weather the storm.
Toward the end of the round here, and what a close there.
Wow.
Great finish by Colby. We're going to have a replay coming up here, and then you can see it here as he was just trying to close the distance and get shots in.
Yeah, Myles is doing a real good job. He's keeping his fight. He's not trying to fight to Colby's style. He's making the fight happen to his style. Colby, on the other hand, is doing a really good job of when it looks like it's getting a little stale, he's rocking those big hooks and those shots to Myles. Myles is doing a good job weathering the storm, but there is another round in 2 more minutes, and this is going to be a very important round right here for Colby.
So the first 2 rounds are very similar to one another. It seemed like you had Guidry being the aggressor early on, and then Colby Cowan able to just close it out, trying to take shots as the round was coming to a close both times.
Yeah, and I got to tell you something right now, win or lose, 22-year-old, it's his debut, and I really like Colby Cowan. I really like the shots that he's throwing. He's starting to move his head now. He's not, keep hitting a jab and keeping that head straight on the line. He's getting some head movement, and he's moving around a little bit more. I'm really excited to see if there was another big adjustment, especially with Zach Cunningham in your corner.
More defensive boxing techniques there. As we get round 3 started, both fighters are excited as they tap up and we get started. Third and final round, 2 minutes, and an aggressive shot there to open it up.
There goes the knees.
And definitely the experience is coming
Oh, a good uppercut by Colby.
Great by Colby. Colby just landed out there. Guidry trying to make the most of his range, but Colby is just trying to close in. Presses him up against the cage here.
Oh, and Myles looked like he slipped on that one. I don't think that was a leg sweep. I think he went for the kick and just tripped.
Remember, this is a kickboxing bout, so no MMA, no ground game in this match.
Myles setting him up. He's keeping those long arms in front of him and seeing what he wants to do if he wants to throw a knee to the body.
And a heavy shot with the right there.
Colby with the big uppercut.
To be aggressive.
Myles with the big hook.
They're going back and forth now. Got the clinch. Referee breaks it up as they get back and go toward each other again.
Listen, I would definitely watch these guys fight again and again and again. This is an exciting fight. Both of these guys just laying it out there.
Knocking Spittle out. Oh, my goodness.
Big shots by Myles. Big shots by Colby. They're just trading punches.
Yeah, Myles just with the 2 shots there with the right hand. And
he's got him on the...
Cowan with some shots.
Both of them just getting tired and gassed out. Myles puts Colby into the octagon.
They're definitely
right into the
hitting
cage.
the adrenaline at 100 miles per hour going after each other here in round 3.
Colby doing a good job of just leaving everything out there tonight, trying to get those shots to put Myles down onto the canvas. Myles weathering the storm and just returning the fight. These guys are definitely leaving everything out there.
And heavy shots coming through with a 3-piece combination. Referee breaks it up after there was a Muay Thai clinch.
Oh, good body shot by Myles.
And he rattles him with the shot. Yeah, another one to close
10
out
seconds
the round.
left. They're just standing in the pocket and
Still
throwing punches.
swinging. What a way to end this first fight here at JJ's Live.
Good uppercuts by Colby. Listen, this has got fight of the night written all over it. 3 rounds, these dudes just stood there and punched each other in the face. This was a great fight.
We're going to take a look at the SSN replay, and you can see the action. They're just going at toe-to-toe, neither man backing down as they go to war.
You know, Colby was definitely going for that big shot, and because his arms are a little bit shorter, he's able to kind of just get more spring in those. You just got to turn those hips a little bit, and I think some of those hooks would have been a little bit more effective. But Myles being so tall and keeping that distance and doing a good job of getting those kicks to the body when Colby was getting close and getting those knees to the body when they're in the clinch, it was just really difficult for someone that doesn't have the reach advantage like Colby.
Excellent action as it got more intense as the fight went on. We're going to get a decision here again. The 3 judges that will be calling the fight: Richard Suave, Justin McQuillan, and Christina Barnett. The referee of all of tonight's fights will be Rocky DeMeyer, as we will kick this back to our public address announcer in the cage, Gregory Taylor, as we await the decision for this first bout of the evening.
Yeah, so no finish on that fight. Debut fight for Colby Cowan. This is going to go to the judge's decision. I want to say that doing the good job of keeping that hand out there and keeping the distance for Myles is going to be something that really helped in this fight. Looked like Colby at each end of the round would just get a barrage of shots fired off. And right when you think Colby's got Myles on the ropes, Myles would return the favor. Definitely had fight of the night written all over it.
Let's go to the official scoreboard. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the judges scored the fight a unanimous decision. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner out of the red corner, Myles Guidry.
So Myles Guidry with the range and the reach advantage to be able to get this decision victory. He wins unanimous decision on all 3 judges' scorecards. So what we're going to do now, we're going to give it a few moments, and then we do have fire interviews here tonight being held by our Carter Randolph nearby.